It's a little late right now, so I have to keep it relatively down when making this video, but I wanted to address something because when making my content, I really do enjoy looking at comments and feedback, especially when people really enjoy what I do. But recently I've just noticed this uptick in negativity in the comment section, and I just wanted to kind of address a couple of that and move forward with that for the videos coming up in the future. And what I mean by that for reference is, this kind of really started to pop up at the moment I uploaded a video about the championship stall deck, where there were some comments kind of pointing out misplays I've made and stuff. And that's fine. You can point out the misplays by all means, man. Do what you want. Say what you want in the comments. But sometimes it can just come across as a little condescending, Like this comment here saying, did you forget Badua's 30 HP? Monkey Dory would kill it. It's just condescending, They were right. At this point in the video, I could have effectively got a KO if I just give a bit of context here. At this point in the video, there was a Badu hitting my cornerstone for 100 I don't know how much damage it was. I'm looking at 120, but I don't think that's correct. But just hitting a lot of damage on my cornerstone. I had a Prism Energy and I could have got Monkey Dory out with either Artisan or Nest Ball and used Prism to move 30 damage onto the Badu and knocking it out, dealing with the problem, right? In that moment in time, I was just thinking, I'm playing a stall deck. I don't want to be taking knockouts when obviously that was the optimal line of play. So in that case, it's just a misplay. And misplays happen, man. It's kind of a part of the channel. If you haven't been watching for long enough, then fine, I get it. But for those people who have been watching long enough, that's just kind of me. And you don't need to be condescending about it. You don't have to have this kind of backhandedness to what you say when pointing out a misplay, I like comments that laugh about it. This one by 7 Even, who says, that's not how Genesate works, low. And I think there's another one here pointing out, Genesate doesn't work like that. Like, these comments are fine. They're just kind of pointing something out. They're not like insinuating that I'm stupid, for making a misplay or not recognizing something. They're just pointing it out. And I think that's fine. I think that's okay. I'm going to get things wrong. Point it out if you want to. That's totally okay. But I saw that more condescending comment and, relatively larger people liking it. And I'm like, okay, well, that's, I'll brush it off. It is what it is. I do want to add as well in post that I could just be taking it the wrong way. They could just genuinely be asking the question thinking that they missed something. So I just want to put that out there and say, hey, that I understand that could also be the case. But this isn't the only thing that led to this video. There's more coming. And then the Togekiss video comes in. And this one's a bit of a different beast, I think, because this comment does have genuine truth to it, them saying, not trying to be a hater, but it's kind of disappointing when the video doesn't even include the thumbnail or Titlemon doing even one thing throughout all of the games. And I see what they're saying and where they're coming from, because throughout this video, which was about Togekiss, I think only effectively flips the coin twice throughout this whole video. It only hit heads at the end, giving a fake payoff, right? Now, this is something that I think is a valid point. If I do a video and say, hey, it's about Togekiss, you're probably going to expect to see Togekiss in action. And when it is in action effectively and not really doing much, you're going to feel a bit let down. And I think that's valid. I think that's okay. But I do want to kind of point out here that this is much more in line with how I make my content. I always want to make my content more honest. And the way I do my content is I typically record everything in one sitting, where I would just do record start, record finish, have a few games in there, and then just order it in a way that I think best fits the video, and then go with that, because I think that's going to give you a much more honest account of how the deck is going to be played if you just picked it up and played it yourself. Now, granted, that does create times where the deck is going to completely underperform, or you're going to have 2 games in a row that just are poor based on randomness. And, maybe this was one of those situations, because if you follow me on Twitter, you would see I have quite a few clips of me using this Togekiss and it actually doing its thing. One actually where it activated when Dusk Noir KO'd itself in the active, which I thought was really cool. The Togekiss, of course, I could have showed it better off, I think, if I'm being honest with myself. And I think that's a valid and fair criticism, but I wanted to point out that at the end of the day, I wanted to be honest with you and just upload what came up first. Also, I was a bit, struggling for time there as well. So that one, maybe I could have given a bit more time, and I think that's a fair criticism. But there was comments in there that I was like, what is this? What's going on? And you see how the LDF even caught a stray in here. Someone saying, I know what you mean. I watch new Hydreigon EX gameplay that take extra prize from LDF, and it doesn't have much what that card does the whole game, because the card just really sucks. At the end of the day, if all you want to see is the card doing incredible things, you're only really going to see 4 or 5 decks, because all the other decks are just suboptimal in comparison to the meta. Now, that's not to try and take away from this point. I see what they're saying in that when you upload these videos, sometimes it's just not going to work out that way because the card isn't that good. And I think this deck suffered the consequence of that. Although the deck is great, it's just Togekiss isn't really a big part of it. So I think this comment, although, yeah, I get it, there's still just this level of harshness to it. It's like a bit hypercritical, in my opinion, you know? Even if it is valid. And then someone added, facts, it's one thing when it's just not being able to get pulled off, but it's another thing when they don't even try and use it. Like 99% of content creators that do the exact same thing. That's just incorrect, if I be honest with you. The first popping I get, I am trying to get Togepi out, as you can see here, right? And I'm talking in the video, wanting to get it out, trying to get it out. I do get it around about the 7-minute mark. When you're playing a deck that plays one single copy of Togekiss, one rare candy, and only one Togepi, no Togetic, you best believe you're not going to get it out as often as you think and as quickly as you think. And that's what's happening here. A lot of people are expecting it to be heavily used and stuff because of the title and thumbnail. And that's something I didn't anticipate, because in my eyes, when I uploaded that video, it was much more, oh, you know, Togekiss in Goldengo has popped off. Let's play that deck and title it with it being the focus on Togekiss. Otherwise, I'm just uploading a Goldengo deck, and I could have uploaded any other Goldengo deck, right? The whole point of this video was me to play the Goldengo deck with Togekiss and try and get it to work, which I did. I tried, just failed to. And so that comment here is just, that's an example of a comment that I'm just like, nah, that's just purely wrong. To say that I'm not trying to when you can see visually that I am and talking about it, that's just in my opinion, that's a comment that's just, it comes from nowhere, you know? And then he goes on to say, the same person, I'm sure he played more than 2 games, but he could have at least played 5 to 6 games and used the best ones to showcase Togekiss more, even if he lost the match. Point being, if you're going to put a specific mon in the thumbnail, use it more often in the video. Again, I do understand that, to be honest with you, but then the worrisome thing about this, and this is why I don't usually upload videos that are a compilation of like 5 to 6 games, is that tends to put you in a trap of creating videos that are dishonest, that are not going to accurately represent the game. If I play 7 games, let's say, for example, 2 of them do great and 5 of them do terribly, and I decide to put the 2 great ones in, that's being dishonest. And to not fall into that trap, I would just rather play it, get what I get out of it, and show that to you as almost like a staring through the window, a peep into the, you just a slice of that moment in playing that deck and just showing you what I got. That's kind of how I like to go about it, because it's more honest. And that's just been my philosophy with this, you know? So although, again, in these comments, I do understand what they're saying, there's just a level of harshness about them that I think is just unfounded and unjustified. And you can tell it just has a layer of spite behind it that is just like, what did I do to you? You know? The thing that made me want to put it out as well, though, was me attaching the lightning to Goldengo. That was funny. You know, I found that really entertaining and fun. And I wanted people to see that maybe I'm prioritizing the wrong things. I don't know, but I like to prioritize entertainment over, you know, misplays or how the deck's fully playing. I just want you to have a fun video to watch. So although I do understand it and I think they have a point, I do think it's an expectation that is just a little bit unrealistic, if I'm going to be honest. But now going to the next video. Again, this is the 3rd video now, all in a row, where you're getting these kind of negative comments pop up. And I talk about Clefairy here. And in this part of the video, I say how Clefairy's like, it came out and then everyone was like really excited about it and then it just vanished. Now, with that statement alone, the comment I'm going to show you makes perfect sense. But here's one of the main problems I've had recently with some comments. So someone comments here, who in the world thinks Lily's Clefairy vanished? Any toolbox deck that plays a Crispin plays this card. Eevee Box, Ogre Box, Ho-Oh Box, Terra Box, etc. It was also just essential to winning the World Championship this year in arguably the top meta deck, Gardevoir. Now, you'd think that's a valid point, right? Because I'm saying Clefairy, everyone was excited about it, and then it just died out, which is not true. It's everywhere, just as a tech. Now, if you just literally look at the 43rd second mark in this video, which is here, I am showing Riley in the finals using Clefairy. You know? And so obviously, if you just took a bit more time to watch the video, you would know that I'm aware of that, right? That I am aware that obviously Clefairy itself didn't disappear, but the deck, right? The video is about Clefairy with Lily's Pearl. So you would probably be able to put 2 and 2 together and sit there and go, well, he means the deck, not the literal one card being played in a myriad of other decks. And so that comment, in my opinion, is just in bad faith. It's immediately assuming that I'm stupid and I'm missing something out, instead of just sitting there waiting it out and going, oh, okay, no, he does know what he's talking about, and this is what he meant. Maybe I misspoke, and I did agree to that, you know, should have said deck at that point in time. But where's the line? Where's the point in which I have to clarify every small detail for everything I say to make sense? Where's that line, between that and it being self-evident and not needing to be said because it speaks for itself? That's the line that I'm trying to understand, because for some reason there's a few people out there who just cannot give time to maybe figure out what they mean by something they say or do, or completely dismisses something that is self-evident. And I'm going to show you that now. As in the same game, there's a comment here saying, at this timestamp, I just need a Pearl, plays Iono instead of Arven in their hands. So for a bit of context here, I obviously play Iono here. If you look at the board state, my opponent has 3 prizes. I have 5 prizes to take, so I'm very far behind right now. And I mentioned wanting Lily's Pearl. Reason being is because with a Legacy Energy on my Clefairy, meaning it's a 1-prize Pokemon, and Lily's Pearl, it's effectively a 0-prize Pokemon. So if I take a knockout here going down to 3 prizes, and they return knockout for 0, I can actually win the game and reset the prize trade in my favor. Prize trade being the whole trade between prizes to win the game, right? But the thing that's self-evident here that comment is just completely ignoring, either for the sake of trying to catch me out, or maybe being a new player and missing that and just getting a bit cocky. What they're completely missing is Boss's Orders is a thing, right? And with my opponent having a 7-card hand, playing Goldengo with additional draw, the odds are they are definitely getting a Boss's Orders. So if I have a Clefairy with a Legacy and a Lily's Pearl, they just boss around it for the last 2 prize cards. It doesn't matter, So in my opinion, playing Iono is a better play than playing the Arven, even if Arven gives me the Pearl, because it reduces the odds of Boss's Orders. So I'm better off in Ionoing and hoping to get a Pearl than guaranteeing the Pearl, but getting bossed anyway. That, I think, is a self-evident play. Don't get me wrong, there are very new players who won't be able to recognize that, but those are the people who won't be commenting those kind of things. Those are the people who are like, oh, I'm new to this game. Can you explain why you did this? So this is someone who is either new to the game and very arrogant, or someone who isn't new to the game and just completely missed it. At least that's what I can gather for it, or from it, should I say. Now, I do want to add that this might have been done in jest, like trying to be, a bit funny and just having a laugh about it. I don't know. Maybe I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they didn't mean to be condescending with this, right? And this one as well, right, as I mentioned earlier, who in the world thinks Clefairy vanished? Again, that insinuates I'm a moron, right? It's like, who thinks it vanished? You must be a moron to think that. So again, just very negative energy is the best word I can use behind these comments. Whereas you have ones like these, right? It's like, oh, 21-35. I do like this, by the way. Misses the opportunity to boss another Lily's Clefairy and hit for weakness. So this is at the end of the game where they have Scizor and they boss up Fezandipity instead of another Clefairy to hit 900 damage, which would have been, really funny. And I would have done that myself. That's just kind of like, having fun with it. I have people like, with the Goldengo video, laughing at the fact that I attached that lightning energy to Goldengo and laughing at the misplays I make. And that's lovely. I really like that because I think it's better to laugh at mistakes and failures as much as you can, especially when they're not as that big of a deal. Like a misplay in a Pokemon game is nothing. It doesn't matter, right? And I'm saying this in a way that should hopefully be enlightening, not depressing. I'm saying it doesn't matter because we're doing this for fun. It's a card game. We're here to enjoy ourselves. We're not here to scrutinize the small list of plays and be a bit snarky about it. I don't think that's okay. And I don't think that's good. And that's why I'm making this video. Misplays are going to happen here. It's a part of who I am. I've struggled with attention my whole life. It's happened in my real life. It's going to happen in TCG. I try and make light of it. I try and make fun of it. And I think most of you know that and enjoy it too. And that's, I think, also the most important thing here. But just pointing that out, that's not going to change. If you're frustrated by misplays, leave. You're not going to have a good time here. I'm telling you, mate. Trust me. And if you're making comments, criticizing, fine. Just don't be arrogant. Don't be snarky. You can critique. That's cool. But just be nice. We're all here for a good time. We're trying to have some fun. Let's make that the priority, not how I missed this play and it lost me the game. The amount of games I've played, it's overwhelming. I think I've checked PDCG out and I've got like 12,000 or something games played. Do you really think I'm going to care about a misplay? No, I'm not. It's something like we're in a video. We're not playing tournaments. We're not, competing in a regional where it matters what you do with your misplays. We're just playing a goofy deck that maybe got top 8 or won a limitless tournament, or a deck that is really bad but just fun to play. I do want to say though at the end of this, because that was quite a negative video, I know. I just wanted to kind of bring it to attention and say, hey, look, I'm here. I'm not an enigma. I read comments. I look at them. I'm a human, I can see and understand things. But more importantly, to those who are the silent watchers of this video, of all my videos, you're not unseen. I know this is a small, louder minority, but just seeing all those recent comments and then getting like none of the most likes is it's just a little bit frustrating when you put a lot of work into things and you want to give people a good time and fun. And you can see in the editing of my video, I really do put a lot of effort in to make it fun and to see just, the most highlighted comments be ones that are just nitpicking and focusing on small things that don't really matter in terms of the video and what it's trying to do. Because my goal isn't to be a good player. My goal isn't to give you optimal plays. My goal is to make you smile and make you laugh and make you leave the video at least just a little bit more distracted from the crappy life that we all live in. We live in a society. I appreciate the majority of you, because the majority of you do actually understand that. But yeah, just had to kind of bring it up, and we'll leave it there. Next one, we're just going to keep going as normal. It's going to be a fun ride. I'll see you then.